Who's your favorite Red Sox player of all time? That's how we're going to open today's episode of the Red Sox Rundown. Mine is Dustin Pedroia, but I want to hear from you. Go down below in the comments. Name your favorite Red Sox player of all time, and let's have a great conversation reminiscing about some of our favorite players. My name is Jack Lauderay. I am the host of the Red Sox Rundown. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video. And today we are talking about the newest article from Christopher Smith, talking about how the Red Sox are heavily going to be linked and are expected to be heavily in the mix for first baseman Nathaniel Lowe. If you don't know, Nathaniel Lowe was just released by the Washington Nationals, designated for assignment, and is in the process of being unconditionally released, which means that he's going to be cheap, is basically what that means. We're going to get into all of that in today's video. Look, I think there's no secret that, the Red Sox at first base is still a little bit of a question mark. Abraham Toro and Romy Gonzalez have done a good job, but I do think that the prospect of Nathaniel Lowe is interesting. And the fact that the Red Sox were in potentially on Nathaniel Lowe and there was conversations around Nathaniel Lowe at the trade deadline, I think the Red Sox would be a, realistic and kind of perfect fit to bring Lowe in for the playoff push. So Christopher Smith put out an article, really great article, had a lot of really awesome quotes, which we're going to break down in today's video, because I know a lot of people are going to say, Jack, why the hell would we go after Nathaniel Lowe? His stats this year have been absolutely horrible. Christopher Smith has some good points that we're going to get into that I completely agree with. Let's just start with some of the background. Here's what Christopher Smith had to say on Nathaniel Lowe in general. He said, according to industry sources, Boston is expected to be in the mix to sign first baseman Nathaniel Lowe, who is designated for assignment by the Nationals early this week and is in the process of being unconditionally released. Washington requested release waivers on Lowe on Saturday, so he would become a free agent within the next 48 hours. So this is something that's going to happen within the next few days, because the Red Sox are not going to be the only team in on Nathaniel Lowe. So I think that this process is probably going to happen pretty quickly, and Lowe is probably going to be on a team within the next few days. So this is something to definitely look out for the Red Sox. The Red Sox could be making a move here very shortly. Here's more from Christopher Smith. He said, at that point, he'll be able to sign with any team from the pro-rated portion of the major league minimum. The Red Sox, who could use a left-handed bat at first base, are expected to jump in and pursue Lowe at that point. They could face competition from other contenders looking to make an upgrade. Because money isn't a factor, Lowe will make the remaining of his $10.3 million salary from the Nationals regardless of where he signs. Teams pursuing Lowe would have to woo him with opportunity, both when it comes to playing time and potential championship contention. I think the Red Sox would be a perfect fit for him. I think that the combination of ballpark, playing time potential, and championship contention in an American League that is very wide open, I think the Red Sox offer a lot to Nathaniel Lowe. And I think Lowe would be dumb to at least not consider the Red Sox as his potential landing spot. I'm going to get into more reasons why I think the Red Sox should actually go out and sign him. But before I do, I want to get the pulse of the nation. This is going to be a very divisive conversation. Would you sign Nathaniel Lowe? Why for yes and for no? That's all it's going to take. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's YouTube show, which means YouTube is about to play an ad break. When that happens, let the ad play. It actually helps us here at the Red Sox Rundown continue to make you videos. So when the ad plays, scroll on down and answer the question. Why for yes and for no? Would you sign Nathaniel Lowe if you had the opportunity? We've got more from Christopher Smith. Let's talk about it. I'm very interested. Where would Nathaniel Lowe fit? I think that's something that a lot of people are asking. Okay, well, you've already got two first basemen. Where would Nathaniel Lowe fit? Well, here is more from Christopher Smith. He said, Lowe, who turned 30 last month, has had a down year after the Rangers sent him to Washington in a December trade. He's hit just .216 with 16 homers, 68 RBIs, and a .665 OPS, and a 26.5 strikeout rate. He has been much better, though, against righties. A .235 average, a .732 OPS, then lefties, a .174 average with a .516 OPS. So, this would project as a platoon partner alongside lefty matcher Romy Gonzalez if he were to join the Red Sox. So that would mean Abraham Toro is bye-bye. And I think a lot of us have kind of been done with the Abraham Toro experience. He's been, good at times, but as of late, his defense has struggled, and he's not hitting the ball at all. So if you bring in Nathaniel Lowe, who's got a championship background, who's won a Silver Slugger, who's won a Gold Glove, and according to Tyler Milliken, before 2015, he was a top 10 first baseman in terms of F-WAR in each of the last 3 seasons, according to Tyler Milliken. He's been a pretty damn good first baseman. So I think that Nathaniel Lowe would be an upgrade over Abraham Toro. And I think that, bringing him into Fenway, a lefty first baseman that mashes righties, bringing him into a fresh environment, a family-first environment where the pressure, is there because you're competing for a playoff spot, but it's not the incredible struggles of Washington, I think might rejuvenate him. That was the same argument I had with Zach Gallen. If you bring him in to the right situation, he could have, a comeback type of finish of the season. I think the same could be said about Nathaniel Lowe. And I think that this is what the Red Sox think too. Here's more from Christopher Smith. Boston views Lowe, a former Silver Slugger winner in 2022, a Gold Glover in 2023, as an option because his track record of big league success suggests that there's still a high ceiling despite his 2025 struggles. The Red Sox are intrigued by the fact that they could catch lightning in a bottle at a low cost over the final 6 weeks of the season with Lowe, if a change of scenery and some tweaks lead to increased output. I think it makes a lot of sense. Abraham Toro's not been playing well as of late. And if you could bring in a Nathaniel Lowe, who, like Christopher Smith says, has a good track record, a Silver Slugger in 2022, a Gold Glover in 2023. He's won a World Series with the Texas Rangers. That's good acumen. That's a valuable asset. And if you can get him for cheap, I would do that in a heartbeat. I get the stats, and I know that we want a box score hunt here. But again, it's more than just the raw numbers. What is it under the hood? What does he bring to the team other than just the output offensively? I like this potential. And look, if he doesn't work out, you're not paying him anything at all. So I would definitely make the call. And I would definitely try to get Nathaniel Lowe on the Red Sox roster as soon as he becomes available. Now the question remains, what does that mean for Kristian Campbell? There's a lot of talk about calling up Kristian Campbell, making him your first baseman. So I'll ask you guys, if you had to pick one, who would it be? Type NL if you would pick Nathaniel Lowe, or type KC if you would pick Kristian Campbell. I think I know the way a lot of people are going to go. I personally would probably still go with Nathaniel Lowe because he's the proven first baseman. He's got the experience at first base. Kristian Campbell's been learning at first base, but he's not a natural first baseman. So I would probably go with Lowe, but you let me know. NL for Nathaniel Lowe or KC for Kristian Campbell. All right, that's it with that. We're going to talk about the game here in a second, but first make sure you hit that subscribe button. Through the good, through the bad, all 162, we're making videos for you guys. I have recaps after every single game, so you don't have to watch the game. I recap everything in 1 minute, so you know what you missed. And then on top of that, we break down the games in full detail in our long-form videos like we're about to do here in a second. We also hit the latest news, rumors, injury news when it comes out. We have it all covered here on the Red Sox Rundown. We are knocking on the door of 5,000 subscribers. And when we get there, we're going to be able to do watch parties during the playoffs. And those are a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss them. So join the family today for daily Red Sox videos. Join this community. It's one of the best communities on YouTube. Join them. Join us right now and hit that subscribe button. All right, let's talk about the game. The Red Sox win the series against the Marlins, which is awesome. I'm gonna get through this kind of quickly because it's very late and I want to go to sleep. Brayan Bello throws a great game, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 Ks. Really, really solid game from Bello. I thought that he was fantastic. Really no notes. He gives up the 2 home runs. I'm not really that concerned about that. The rest of the game, he was locked down. Didn't give up a run until the 5th, and then the other one came in the 7th, and then he got pulled. It is what it is. Bello threw a really great game, really great bounce-back game. You needed some really good starts from Bello and Giolito, and you got them, which was really, really key. Justin Wilson finishes out the 7th. Perfect. 1K. Awesome. Steven Matz comes in, gives you a perfect 8th. That's great to see. One of your trade deadline acquisitions is like consistently pitching really, really well. And then Isaiah Campbell comes in with a 7-2 lead and gives up 3 runs on 4 hits. And you have to blow Aroldis Chapman's arm out again. This was the same issue we had with Jorge Alcala. You've got a big lead, your low leverage arms can't keep that big lead, and then you have to bring in your high leverage reliever when he desperately could have had and needed a day off. That is frustrating. The low leverage guys need to figure it out. You cannot keep having your low leverage guys go out there, lay eggs, and have Aroldis Chapman clean up their messes. It cannot happen. So that was kind of honestly the worst part of the game today, was Isaiah Campbell just coming out and absolutely shitting the bed, and you having to use Aroldis Chapman again. Didn't love it, didn't like it. He should get sent down. We all know he shouldn't be on the roster, but at this point it is what it is. You need some players to get healthy. You need to get September for some potential call-ups. There's a lot of moving parts that are going to happen over the next few weeks, and I don't think Isaiah Campbell is long for the Red Sox Major League roster, in my opinion. Offensively, relatively good day. 9 hits, 3 walks, only 5 Ks. It's a lot of the same guys at the top. Honestly, the bottom of your lineup really did nothing. Romy Gonzalez goes 0 for, Willie Abreu goes 0 for, Rafaela goes 1 for 4, Connor Wong goes 0 for. It really was the top 5 guys in your lineup that did it today, and that's fine. You got 5 guys producing. You're going to be pretty successful. Roman Anthony goes 2 for 4. He scores twice. He also has a walk. The kid is just impressive, man. There's just nothing you can say about him. He's a star. He's if he continues at this pace, he's probably going to win AL Rookie of the Year, which I think a lot of us did not think was going to happen. But he's just continued to play at a pace that is incredibly impressive. Alex Bregman goes 2 for 3. He scores a run. He has an RBI. He has a walk. He looks really good as well. Jarren Duran went 1 for 2. He had a run and an RBI. He also had a walk, and he struck out once as well. Everyone's contributing. Masataka Yoshida goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He got the scoring going in the first inning with the 2-run single. As soon as you jumped on Cal Quantrill, I kind of had a really good feeling that the Red Sox were going to win this game. But it's Trevor Story, who is on the verge of being the Clark's Catch-Up Series MVP for the Section 10 podcast, and I think it's very much trending that way. 2 for 4, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and a K. He had the huge 3-run home run in the bottom of the 3rd to make it a 6-0 ball game. From that point forward, the game was over. Of course, it got a little chippy in the 9th, but the game was over at that point, and you get a much-needed series win. You come back to Fenway where you know you are winning a lot of ball games. You bring in a scrappy Marlins team who, like I said, I could not predict a sweep because this Marlins team is very unpredictable, but you've won the series in the first 2 games, and now you're going for a sweep today with Crochet on the mound. Exactly the way to bounce back from a rough road trip. And so the Sox showing that they still got it is making me feel good. And then you've got 2 games with the Orioles coming up to start the week at home. So if you could go and win the next 3 and you got a 5-game win streak, you're probably going to gain a game or 2 on Toronto. I know Toronto's won the last 2 nights, so you haven't been able to gain any ground, but Toronto's going to lose eventually, and you're going to be able to strike if you continue to beat these teams that you should beat. Speaking of which, let's get into standings and scoreboard. So we'll get into the scoreboard first, and then we'll get into the standings. As I already alluded to, the Blue Jays won last night 14-2 over the Texas Rangers, who are completely out of the wild card race now. So you don't gain a game, but you don't lose a game on Toronto, so that's good. Seattle lost, so that's big. You are tied with Seattle for the top wild card spot now. You win, of course. The Astros beat the Orioles. So they take over again the AL West, The Guardians lose again, which is a huge deal for the wild card. And the Twins lose to the Tigers. And that's pretty much those are the only really consequential games that happened last night. So let's look at the standings. Like I said, you make up no ground in the AL East. You don't lose any ground either, though. And you are 5 games back on the Toronto Blue Jays. Look, it sucks. It does. But you still have a 3-game series against them at the end of the season. And there's still a good amount of games left. So, you're going to be okay. I'm not that worried about them. But let's look at the wild card, though. How'd the Yankees do today? Yesterday. I'm sorry. The Yankees also won. So that's another important one. How does the wild card look? You're a game and a half up on New York for the last wild card spot. You are 4 games up on the Guardians from being knocked out of the wild card. And you are tied once again with the Seattle Mariners for the top wild card spot. You're both a game and a half up. And the Mariners lost yesterday, so that was huge. So you're, again, still sitting pretty. You're 5-5 in your last 10. But you've got a chance to sweep today with Crochet on the mound. And then you've got 2 games against the Orioles, who are 56 and 67, not really good at all. So I feel really good about where the Red Sox sit right now. And heading into September in the next few weeks, you want to get as much padding on Cleveland and Kansas City and Tampa Bay as you can. If you're not going to win the division, you at least want a favorable wild card spot. So continue to build padding on those teams, and you're going to be sitting in a pretty good spot. That's where we're going to end it, guys. Before we get out of here, my last question for you. Do the Red Sox sweep this series? Garrett Crochet on the mound? I'm going to say yes, but you let me know. Yes or no? Simple yes or no down below in the comments. Let me know down below. And before we get out of here, make sure you go down, click on the link to follow me on Twitter. That's going to be down in the links and description of today's video, the comments and description of today's video. We are less than 20 followers away from 1,000 followers. Daily Red Sox coverage. I live tweet every game. I crash out when they lose. It's a lot of fun. Join me over on Twitter. It's at JackLauderay. That link's down below in the comments and description as well. That's where we're going to end it. Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to be back later today with another short recapping, hopefully a sweep of the Marlins, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning with another long-form video. That's it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, go Sox.